The Midnight Visitor, who changed Lou Gehrig's career forever. Lou Gehrig opens his apartment door at 11:47 p.m. on October 15, 1925, expecting to find nobody there after hearing 3 deliberate knocks that seem to echo from somewhere deep inside the building's walls. Instead, he discovers an elderly man with silver hair and eyes that seem to hold decades of unspoken knowledge, standing in the dim hallway light carrying nothing but a small wooden box and a smile that suggests he knows exactly why he's there. What this mysterious stranger tells Lou in the next 2 hours doesn't just change his approach to baseball. It plants the mental seed that will grow into the most remarkable consecutive game streak in sports history, though the visitor's true identity remains a secret that Lou carries to his grave. The Bronx apartment building stands 4 stories tall on East 157th Street, built from red brick that has absorbed decades of New York weather, and witnessed countless stories of immigrant families pursuing American dreams through hard work and determination. Lou's second-floor apartment reflects his modest circumstances as a rookie player still proving himself worthy of a permanent roster spot with the Yankees. The furnished room contains a narrow bed, a small wooden table, 2 chairs, a radio that receives signals inconsistently, and windows that face west toward the lights of Manhattan, glowing like fallen stars across the Harlem River. This sparse living space suits Lou's practical nature and limited budget, though he harbors ambitions that extend far beyond these temporary accommodations. The knock comes precisely at 11:47 p.m. 3 measured raps against the wooden door that sound different from casual visitor knocking or emergency summons. Each impact carries deliberate weight, as if the person outside understands exactly how much force is required to penetrate the apartment's evening quiet without creating alarm among other residents. Lou had been reviewing newspaper clippings of his recent games, analyzing his batting stance in photographs and mentally rehearsing adjustments for tomorrow's practice session. The unexpected interruption breaks his concentration completely, filling him with the kind of cautious curiosity that comes from living alone in a city where midnight visitors usually bring trouble rather than opportunity. Opening the door reveals the elderly stranger whose appearance defies easy categorization or immediate understanding. His age could be 60 or 80, his weathered face showing lines that speak of experience rather than mere passage of time. Silver hair catches the hallway's dim lighting, creating an almost luminous effect that makes him appear to be illuminated from within rather than by external sources. His clothing is unremarkable but impeccably maintained. Dark wool coat, simple black shoes, white shirt with collar that suggests attention to detail without ostentation. But his eyes capture Lou's attention most completely. Pale blue irises that seem to contain depths of knowledge accumulated through experiences that extend beyond normal human lifespans. The stranger speaks with a voice that carries authority without aggression, confidence without arrogance, certainty that comes from understanding rather than assumption. He addresses Lou by name, though they have never met, and requests permission to enter for a conversation that will benefit both of them in ways that cannot be immediately explained or understood. His manner suggests someone accustomed to being welcomed into private spaces, someone whose presence brings value rather than intrusion, though his specific purpose remains mysterious. Lou's instincts, shaped by 2 decades of reading people's intentions and motivations, detect no threat from this unexpected visitor, only a sense that something significant is about to unfold. The conversation that follows unfolds like a carefully orchestrated revelation, each piece of information building upon previous statements to create a narrative so extraordinary that Lou's rational mind struggles to process the implications, while his intuitive understanding recognizes fundamental truth in every word. The stranger explains that he has traveled from a distant future, sent back through methods that cannot be disclosed to prevent catastrophic changes to historical timelines. His mission involves correcting a temporal disturbance that threatens to alter the course of American baseball history, specifically the remarkable career achievements that Lou Gehrig is destined to accomplish through a combination of natural talent, extraordinary dedication, and mental techniques that have not yet been discovered by athletes of this era. The wooden box contains materials that appear ancient yet perfectly preserved. Documents written in languages that shift and change, depending on viewing angle, photographs that show scenes from baseball games that have not yet been played, and a small leather journal filled with handwritten notes, describing mental conditioning techniques that will not be formally developed by sports psychologists for another 50 years. The stranger explains that Lou's natural physical abilities, while impressive, represent only half of the foundation required for the legendary career that awaits him. The missing component involves mental training that will allow him to transcend normal human limitations regarding pain tolerance, fatigue resistance, and psychological resilience under pressure that would break lesser athletes. These mental conditioning techniques focus on visualization exercises that train the mind to maintain perfect concentration regardless of external circumstances. Breathing patterns that optimize oxygen delivery to muscles while simultaneously calming nervous system responses that create tension and anxiety. And philosophical approaches to adversity that transform obstacles into opportunities for growth and improvement. The stranger demonstrates these techniques through practical exercises that produce immediate results, showing Lou how to access physical strength he didn't realize he possessed and mental clarity that makes complex baseball situations seem simple and manageable. The most remarkable aspect of this midnight training session involves the stranger's detailed knowledge of Lou's future career, including specific games, crucial at-bats, injuries that will test his resolve, and ultimately the disease that will end both his playing days and his life at a tragically young age. This foreknowledge allows him to prepare Lou mentally for challenges that have not yet materialized, building psychological defenses against discouragement, self-doubt, and the temptation to quit when circumstances become difficult beyond normal human endurance. The stranger emphasizes that Lou's greatest achievements will come not from avoiding adversity, but from developing the mental tools necessary to transform suffering into strength. The training continues until dawn begins to lighten the eastern sky, casting long shadows through Lou's apartment windows and signaling the end of this extraordinary educational experience. The stranger gathers his materials, returns them to the wooden box, and prepares to depart with the same mysterious purpose that brought him to Lou's door 8 hours earlier. But before leaving, he provides final instructions that will guide Lou's approach to baseball for the remainder of his career. Never miss a game unless physically incapable of standing. Treat every at-bat as if the championship depends on it. Remember that true strength comes from serving something greater than personal ambition, and understand that the consecutive game streak he will establish serves as inspiration for future generations facing their own seemingly impossible challenges. The stranger's departure occurs as mysteriously as his arrival, leaving no trace of his presence except for the profound changes in Lou's understanding of his own potential and purpose. The mental techniques learned during this midnight encounter become the foundation for Lou's legendary durability, his ability to play through injuries that would sideline other athletes, and his unwavering commitment to showing up for his team regardless of personal circumstances. These skills prove invaluable during the 2,130 consecutive games that establish his reputation as the Iron Horse, each contest becoming another opportunity to apply the mental training received from his mysterious midnight visitor. Years later, as Lou faces the diagnosis that will end his career and eventually his life, he remembers the stranger's words about transforming adversity into inspiration. The same mental techniques that sustained him through thousands of baseball games now help him approach his final challenge with dignity and grace, delivering his famous farewell speech with courage that moves 60,000 fans to tears and establishes his legacy as an example of human character under ultimate pressure. The stranger's identity remains Lou's secret, though careful observers notice certain peculiarities in his career that suggest influence from sources beyond conventional baseball training. His ability to perform consistently regardless of weather, opposing pitchers, or physical discomfort exceeds normal athletic capability. His mental approach to high-pressure situations demonstrates sophistication that athletes of his era typically do not possess. His philosophical acceptance of both success and eventual tragedy reflects wisdom that usually requires lifetimes to develop. Some baseball historians speculate about the source of Lou Gehrig's extraordinary mental strength, noting that his approach to the game changed dramatically during his second season and remained remarkably consistent throughout his career. They observed that his consecutive game streak began shortly after this mysterious transformation, as if he had discovered techniques for transcending normal human limitations. These scholars wonder whether Lou received guidance from sources that conventional sports biography cannot explain or document. The wooden box, the ancient documents, the photographs from future games, and the leather journal containing advanced mental training techniques disappear as completely as their provider, leaving no physical evidence that this extraordinary midnight encounter ever occurred. Only the results remain visible: a career built on durability that defies medical explanation, mental toughness that inspires teammates and opponents alike, and a legacy that continues teaching future generations about the power of commitment, consistency, and character under pressure. Lou Gehrig never spoke publicly about his midnight visitor, but teammates occasionally noticed him practicing unusual breathing exercises, engaging in visualization techniques that seemed far ahead of their time, and maintaining a philosophical calm during crises that would panic ordinary athletes. They attributed these behaviors to Lou's naturally disciplined personality, never suspecting that his mental training came from a source that understood the future as clearly as the present. The stranger's prediction proved accurate in every detail, from Lou's greatest triumphs to his final tragedy, suggesting knowledge that transcends normal human understanding of time and consequence. Whether he represented divine intervention, advanced science, or something beyond current human comprehension, his midnight visit planted seeds that grew into one of baseball's most inspiring stories of dedication, courage, and grace under ultimate pressure.